Hi everybody, this is Lisa at One Happy Place Creations. So let's get started. Today I'm going to go over fussy cutting. We all have had little pieces like this and thought, oh my gosh, wouldn't it be so cute to be able to cut those out and use them. And you see people doing them, and it took me forever, but like I have this that I fussy cut it out and just love it. It just adds so much to a page. So I'm going to go over my tips and techniques for it, and maybe it'll help you out. First thing is, put this over here. First thing is your scissors. Everybody knows the Cutterbug scissors, and they're great scissors, and they're actually not bad for fussy cutting. And this is Martha Stewart scissors. Now, if you look, if you can see here, get this close up here, this is so thick. So when you're looking down at this, and you've got the cutting part, you really can't see what you're cutting when you're closing these up. It just makes it harder. These are not quite as thick. This is another Martha Stewart pair that I thought were going to be even better, and they're really not. And it even seems like there's, you know, they're smaller, but they're, and these I somehow bent. So anyway, and then, you know, just things around your house. These have seen better days, but you can see they're curved, and they don't have a great point on them, but sometimes I use these. And then I have these little teeny tiny ones that are very tiny. I mean, there's my hand. That's how tiny they are. So they get to make your hand pretty sore. And so I use all those, but then I use this. And at first I was not sold on this, but I've used some tips, and I've used some time to get used to it. And of course you need a cutting pad. And the best thing is when you're cutting something like this out is to actually make it smaller so that it's easier to maneuver around. So, and I don't waste anything when I start fussy cutting, really. Okay, and what I do on my fussy cutting is I make sure that I get all my fussy cutting done first, and then I have them all around so that when I'm doing the pages, I can grab and see what I like the best. First tip on this is when you're fussy cutting around these little tiny things, if you hold, let me put this up like this. If you hold your knife down like this and cut, it's going to make it harder to maneuver around. So you just want to hold it at the tip and pull it across. And you don't have to, I mean, this paper is not thick. You don't have to death grip into it. And that was another thing that I was doing wrong, is I was pushing and dragging, and you just don't have to do that much. You just kind of find your spot and get started. You can move the paper. See, I'll get to a curve and I leave my tip in and I bring it around. And if you leave a little bit, you got your scissors. But for the most part, this runs so quickly, and I just went off the line, so I just moved it back. And this goes so much quicker than trying to do it with a pair of scissors that I just love it. And I just not putting a whole lot of pressure on the blade and just running it. When I have these little tips, little bits that I have to jump around and I want to keep them square, I just pick it up and go around it. But it's just not that hard to get to use these. Now, I've been working on them for a month or so, trying to figure out what all I could do with these. Now, when I get to this and I'm fussy cutting around, I could cut out the flower, and probably this time it's what I'm going to do, just because I don't really know how I'm going to use him. And if I used him by himself, I would have to cover up that foot somehow. So just kind of running around the flower, and again, don't push too hard. I want to make sure I'm staying in camera here. You just kind of, and if you end up cutting some of the black off like I just did there, I'm going to show you once I fussy cut this out what all I do with it on top of fussy cutting it. And if I get to pushing too much and get it down into that further part of that blade, I end up getting a ridge on here on my paper that I'm actually cutting. It makes kind of this little funky ridge, and I just take my bone folder and flatten it back down again, and you're none the worse for wear. Now here I'm going to include some of this grass. I went a little fast there. Sometimes it'll let go of the grip, and you just have to make sure that if you don't have a lot of that blade in there, you're not going to do a whole lot of damage. But if you have too much of that blade in, then you can end up cutting into your item. And here I'm just going to cut that and see where, if I've missed anything. Pull this around here, and it looks like I've missed a little bit right around there, but you see it all kind of lifts up, and that's where I got started. So I'm just going to cut this off so I don't have to deal with it. And pick back up where I was, and just keep moving it around. Help me move around those angles a bit. I'm using my fingers to hold the paper. So, but that is, see, now here I'm going to kind of just carry my knife back and forth, because if I miss some of that grass, it's not that big a deal, because it goes up onto the project. And here I'm going to go around some of these. This is where the knife really comes in handy, because getting these little things with the scissors and getting down into here can be quite fussy. And if I knew how to speed this up, I would, but see, that didn't come off there quite. There we go. I figured you wanted to see how I did all of this anyway. And if there's a little bit of white showing, it's not that bad, because, see, in here I'm just kind of getting in there and getting that white pulled out of there. And little fingernails, there we go. And see, part of that flower I did cut off, but that'll be okay, because if I notice it when I'm actually going to use it, I will put another little flower on there. Okay, let me see, get this going here again, and get and another thing I like to do that I have learned from X Anna RO1, I think that is her site. She is absolutely talented, fabulous. Check out her site. It's Xanna, ANNE RO1, Xanaroo1. And she is, gosh, so much better at this than I am. But one thing that she does after she, let me get that little piece. I love that little piece of hair. See if I can save it. Once she gets these cut, she puts on, and let me grab it real quick. She puts on Claudine Helmet Studio Multimedia Matte, and she puts it on all over it. Lets it dry, and then she, let's see where I quit here, and then she puts it on her projects. And by using this multi-matte media, by using that, it strengthens all the little pieces and parts that you have, like the little hand. It strengthens that so that she can, you know, do whatever she wants with it. And if it is something that you're using just on a pocket, then, you know, it probably really doesn't matter. But if you are using it for, you know, like the piece I did here, it's a standalone, and see, like this, I did not get, I need to get a piece of foam on there, foam dot. But see, all these little pieces, they're pretty hardy compared to what they were if they would just be, you know, all these little pieces here. It's on both sides that you put it on. Here's another one that I fussy cut out. And I actually put, before I put the multi-matte on there, of course I go around all the edges with black. And there was a little piece of rope here. I took my pen and just kind of matched that. And then I took, and I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but I took a little bit of the liquid pearls, and it has got just a lovely shimmer, but then I put the matte on top of it, and so there's still a little bit of shimmer that shows through, so that gives it some more texture. There's so many things that you can do. Let's see where I'm at here. Here we go. So many things to add to them, give them texture. You can, you know, brighten things up with your pens. You can tone things down. You can, whatever. But to me, the fussy cutting adds that bit of accent that most people do not take the time to do, because it is time consuming, but it just adds that wow factor that, like I said, you know, most people will not take the time to do this. I usually sit in front of the TV with my husband at night and just take care of business, getting these things done. I'm not going to pay too much attention to that grass because that's kind of a pain. And I'm just going to get his little shoe here, get up to the point. Now you can either leave, I usually will take it a little further past that and just turn the paper, or you can leave your point in like I'm doing here and move the paper around. It's whatever's going to work for you. Let's see, that wanted to give up there.